April 10th, 2023, 8:20 p.m. Drew is secretly a mage. I'm sorry, Drew, but I have to reveal the truth. Drew is a mage who powers his energy by getting angry at Ryan's favorite Nintendo games. Even today, he feeds on all Mario Odyssey hate. Now he's going to feed on Breath of the Wild hate because this weenie can't figure out how to power his own JO crystals. What are you smoking?
I really thought you wouldn't bring that up.
Yeah, you didn't. But now we're here. Live on stream.
We'll get there when we get there.
What the fuck does that mean?
That's for the Breath of the Wild talk.
Oh, yeah, I kind of forgot we were doing that lesson.
It's fine. We're doing two things today. The first one we have on the docket.
I already forgot.
It's okay. Drew is half awake, half dead.
Half is generous.
Drew is 45% awake. 30, we're shooting for a 15er. Drew...
Wait, 15, are you talking about Jack Black?
What?
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
So Drew has now seen the Mario movie twice. My condolences. I've seen it thrice. Fuck. Anyways, Drew, what did you think of the movie?
This is really going to be the most fucking ass backwards episode.
Let me preface by saying I'm not the biggest, I like Mario games. I'm not a big fan of Mario lore in general, but I can still accept that. Fuck off. Just stop laughing. Drew's laughing right now. And he looks like fucking Carrot Top. But
Okay, I don't know if we've ever done this for a channel. Here's a list of people that I look like, according to people, I guess, apparently. Carrot Top, Jesus, Thor, Aquaman. Am I forgetting anyone? There's a wrestler.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Shut up.
My parents say that.
Yeah, your parents, great.
I know.
Who's the actual guy that I look like? There's some wrestler guy.
Drew McIntyre.
Yes, Drew McIntyre. Is there anyone else, or is that all five?
That's all I can think of.
If you squint your eyes really hard from far away, maybe Weird Al. I think it's kind of a stretch, but I mean, I wear the Hawaiian shirts. It's
his face is more like lanky than
he's got a different facial shape. Yeah.
But no, it just
add that to the fan wiki.
Fan wiki. Drew, what did you think of the Mario movie?
The first time I was like, I liked it, but I need to see it again because I just need to be sure. And the second time
I was the same way.
I like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't listen. If I'm gonna ruin your favorite game, then you can ruin this movie for me. It's a fair exchange. Don't touch my hand, J.O. Crystal Wizard Accuser guy.
I didn't. Why'd you stretch your hand out?
What do you mean stretch?
You stretched your hand out at me. Like Mr. Fantastic, you freak. Now, moving on. This movie is a bunch of stinky doo-doo gargy ass, and now you're gonna learn why. I'm kidding. This movie's fine. It's a solid 5 or 6 or 7 out of 10.
Ryan is secretly the irate gamer's adopted son.
Thank you, I work hard. Anyways.
How's that Ghostbusting doing?
I ain't afraid of no Crystal Pepsi. Speaking of which, can I tell you a legitimate gripe I have with this movie now that I've seen it the third time?
Yeah.
Let's just get right into it. The pacing. This movie feels like it's half for the fans, half for kids. Which I guess is a fine demographic to go for, but it's like...
I feel like that's kind of exactly what it should be.
Which is fine. I feel like...
I mean, when you say that, do you imply that there's some other kind of demographic they should go for, or for that kind of demographic they should have paced the movie differently?
I think they didn't try hard enough in my eye. Like... They played it so safe, it's almost a little boring to me. Like, here's the Donkey Kong area, here's the Mushroom Kingdom area. It doesn't feel like it's taking any sort of, risk on being interesting. It's just generic. Like, hey, Mario from Brooklyn has to save the Peach. It's like, which is fine. I'm not gonna say that, I need a complicated plot, but it just feels like it's lacking something. It's lacking like originality to me, like where I've seen this before.
I feel like we should really preface this with what our expectations were, because did you expect more, or did you have low expectations but you still wanted more?
I had low expectations, but I expected a couple witty, like, which there were some witty dialogue, some witty quips and whatnot, but I don't know, I feel like this movie was very Hollywood, if you know what I mean, with the take on me and I need a hero and Thunderstruck. Why is Thunderstruck in this? Play some good ass Mario music, which he has a buttload of.
This would also be a very good time to just preface that this is probably going to be all over the place, because talking about one thing at a time is going to get a little stale. I will defend.
By the way, full spoilers.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Just full spoilers everywhere.
Oh yeah, I get to tell Ryan the second credits scene that he didn't know existed. Yeah. I feel like you were kidding earlier. I feel like that was a bit. It's very exciting.
What is it?
It's not exciting at all. So you saw the first one, which is the Luma, which like the fucking and yeah.
Well, it's whatever. The Bowser still on his piano.
Oh right, yeah, I forgot about that.
And then they shuts the door on.
Luma's pre-credits. Mm-hmm. Everyone's favorite character, Nihilist Luma.
Nihilist.
Update
Luma.
The fan wiki. When is he coming to Mario Kart Tour? Come on, I need more lightweight characters.
Oh my gosh.
If you wait till the very end of the credits, it goes to the Brooklyn sewers and you see a Yoshi egg and it cracks.
Okay.
That's literally it. I think you hear and then and then the screen fades to black and the ushers come in.
We saw Yoshi's.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm weirded out by that end credit scene, because it's like, if they had just taken out that one clip that lasted like 8 seconds, but it had a little more impact, I guess. Even then, I don't think it's a very interesting hook, because like, wow, what if Yoshi in Brooklyn? Yeah, what if...
Yeah, unless he's... I don't want him to be voice acted. Fuck, no. Don't do that.
They just use a generic Yoshi clip, so I'm guessing they're not going to do that.
Yoshi and Yoshi eggs were in the movie. This isn't a special thing. Yoshi eggs were at the wedding ceremony.
But Yoshi's the guy with the green and the...
Does anyone like love the Yoshi series of games?
Some people.
Okay, then 5% of the people are happy. This game is...
You look so tired.
This movie, I've seen it 3 times through. I'm fucking exhausted. Okay, then. Drew just xenomorphed. But...
I think you mean Animorph.
Whatever. He tongued out another mouth, and that was gross. But... I'm so tired of this movie.
Do you like anything about it?
Yeah. Okay. Let me put some sunshine over my rain cloud.
Wait. No, I'm sorry. I just remembered. Fucking the Luma in the prison has a line where he goes, "There is no sunshine." I immediately turned to Ryan. There is no Super Mario Sunshine. That game has been erased from the canon. It was never released on the GameCube. There was no Mario platformer on the GameCube.
Which I zoned out half of because Drew was yelling this all while a movie was playing in my ears. But...
God, I wish.
God, I hate you. Super Mario Sunshine is my favorite Mario game. Go fuck yourself.
There's stuff I like about it.
But, no, you don't. You hate that game. But...
Yeah, but I still like stuff about it.
You hate it. Anyways, so...
I like Piantas. I like Sirena Beach. I like the Electric Mantas. I like Flood.
You can't save yourself from this. You tried to erase the Mario Sunshine canon.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
I still would as a whole if I had... Because I had 99 lives. That's a cute little reference for you. Remember when you played New Super? I'm sorry. Wow. I like this movie, and even I'm getting cynical. But okay. It's kind of going to another tangent. I'm gonna let you keep going.
Full spoilers start from. You know what? I wrote notes.
Did we already do that though? The spoiler warning.
Yeah, I'm just full spoiling for a different thing. Here are all the references outside of Mario lore and canon. First of all, in the theater we were in today, this didn't happen at any other theater I went to previously. There was there was like a Zelda ad, which we're gonna put in right here.
Cuckos.
And it is one of the worst things I've ever seen. And I was excited for a second because I was like, Zelda on a big screen. Ooh, I like that. This is neat. And then then Cuck-Ooze. It was.
Well, before that, it was like Link's gonna fight all the moblins. The moblins better watch out. I'm like, what's happening?
It was so your mom is watching daytime TV, and it hurt. It hurt to watch, and I felt my insides melting. It was the worst.
I don't even know really what hurt so much about it. It's just like it was like the narration was so
lame.
like, I'm telling you what Zelda is because you've never heard of this.
Yes. Like a movie theater audience isn't gonna know Mario or Zelda. We have to introduce them. It's like, no. We humans see things everywhere.
No, also, even if you don't know about Zelda, no one's going to the Mario movie with their kid and seeing that commercial and getting excited. Oh, I gotta buy Skyward Sword HD.
Exactly.
I gotta buy Breath of the Wild.
You're there to see a movie.
Cuck-Ooze.
Like, fuck.
I don't think either of us had I don't think either of us had ever heard that word said out loud. And I say different. I say Cuck-Ooze.
I say Cuck-Ooze. Like, Cuck-Ooze.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I say it.
There's probably many ways you could say it.
Yeah.
Don't say Link is defeating Cucks left and right.
Exactly. Like, he just sounded like he was saying Cucks.
That's at the end of the fucking commercial. But there's still some things that Link is scared of, and fucking Giga Chad Grooze lives on top of him. He's not at the top of the food pyramid.
Oh my god.
The Groose is loose, baby.
Groose is juiced and on the loose.
When's he coming back, man?
Never, thank God.
We've brought back Impa, we've brought back Beetle.
Because, well, Beetle, I don't even know, but like...
Give me Groose. God, he's so fucking hot.
Going through the references, there's the Punch-Out Pizzeria.
Yes.
That had every single Punch-Out character in it, because why not? It's a dead
they're like
franchise.
framed in the pictures, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Little Mac was behind them and everything. Labo Market in commercial.
Okay.
In the commercial, I saw a sign. Because this was my third viewing, I had a little extra time to just look around. I've seen
you mean in the Mario Brothers?
In the Mario Brother commercial, when Mario puts his arm around Luigi and the truck's behind them, there's a thing that says something Bow Market, and it has like a little thing of like either binoculars or Rob, like binocular type thing. So I was like, okay, Labo Market.
It's the Labo goggles, yeah.
Wrecking Crew, I don't really know what that is. I'm assuming a game.
So the player character in that is Mario.
Okay.
And that's why they say that Spike is their former boss.
The Castle Burger, the little thing where they were doing their own like
platform
World
segment.
1-1 type thing, which was fine. I noticed this the first time: Orbulon house portrait.
What the fuck? There's WarioWare shit?
It looked exactly like Orbulon, like a profile of his face in the rich family's house. It was like all the multicolor. I noticed that for the first time.
I didn't know rich people were so based.
And had murderous dogs. Mario plays Kid Icarus because I'm finished or whatever.
Yeah.
Star Fox figurine, Super NES.
Okay.
When they go to stop the flooding in the city, there is a blatant reference to Duck Hunt Dog. I noticed one of the signs in the city said Canary Market, and it had one of the pictures of the duck hunt bird and another of the dog. Looked exactly like them. I noticed this when they were in the underground. When they had just gotten to the bottom of the stairs, there's a little sign that says, like, level 1, 2, which I thought was kind of clever. And then Drew says there was Luncheon Kingdom music during Toad's cooking.
Yeah, I mean, that's more of a music thing.
I didn't notice it.
It's very subtle. It's very subtle. It's already quiet music to begin with. And it's just one little, I think it lasts all of 2 seconds.
Yeah. Like, I wrote down the song Thunderstruck Take on Me, I Need a Hero, Mr. Blue Sky.
Not that I find references very interesting anyway, but if that's your entire list of non-Nintendo game references, I have one more to add. When Bowser and his army enter Brooklyn at the end, and Mario gets hit by the car behind him, you can see a balloon fight car wash.
See, I knew I was going to miss stuff there, and I couldn't keep track. I couldn't keep my eyes everywhere.
I'm surprised you saw anything. All I caught across 2 viewings was, like, balloon fight and punch out.
See, but this time I wasn't, like, my first time viewing, I was like, okay. And, like, my second time viewing, I was more focused on, like, the pacing itself entirely.
Yeah.
The third time, my eyes were just wandering everywhere. They referenced the Rainbow Road cheat, at least in my mind. That's what that was, like a reference to when he gets off and lands on another part of the Rainbow Road.
Oh, yeah, that could, yeah.
I thought that was a reference
That's
to that.
from, is that skipped from Mario Kart Wii?
I thought that was from Double Dash. I could be wrong.
It might be. I haven't played Double Dash in over a decade.
There was an A button to select their carts. I don't know why there would be an A button.
That segment's playing Mario Kart 8, choose your character, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Fucking.
There was something in the background during that Bowser fight at the end that said Disc Coon something ware company.
Hi, everybody. I'm here to talk about Discoon, my favorite Nintendo character.
Dear God, am I going to have to quiet that down in my ears?
Discoon was the mascot of the Famicom Disk Drive in Japan.
Oh, okay. Well, that was all for references, but I hate to say this, and this is the most, like, okay, whatever part. Like, every review I've looked up, everyone says Chris Pratt is fine. I cannot...
Wait a minute! Before we talk about the worst thing, this is Discoon.
Oh, okay.
He's so cute.
Okay, I've seen him before. What is your opinion on the voices and whatnot?
Chris Pratt, he just doesn't fit.
You know what does fit, though? That commercial that he's in.
Yeah.
That voice is fine. And I'm kind of disappointed that he didn't just use that.
We might as well get this out of the way right now. Charles Martinet, for those uninformed, is not just Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi. He's like an actor. Yes. Both a voice actor and a live actor. He's been doing this for 50 years.
You know, I legitimately heard from someone like, oh, the Mario voice actor's not a real actor. You know, I heard that recently.
That people are like that with voice actors.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. For an animated movie.
Animation isn't a real movie. Voice actors aren't real actors.
It's just so asinine.
These signals will take decades to go away.
But, like, I think the worst part is that... So, no surprise, we open up with the Bowser conquering the penguins. And then we cut to the Mario Bros. Commercial where Mario's doing the...
Yeah.
Like, accent, I guess?
Yeah, Chris Pratt and Charlie Day are doing, like, Italian Brooklyn accents.
And then I'm slapped in the face, as a viewer, when I first saw this movie, I was slapped in the face by... Oh, that's not his real Mario voice, because then he starts talking like, hey, do you think it's too much? But then... Charles fucking Martinet is right there and knocks them on the shoulder and says, I think it was pretty good. Woohoo!
He was paid to say that. He doesn't really think that.
But I know.
There's a gun to his head. Save him.
I was so angry at the moment. I was like, you can't just smack me over the face with that. I, as a viewer, now feel insulted. That's the Mario voice actor, really? Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the most cynical parts of the movie is why doesn't Charles Martinet voice Mario and Luigi, even though he could, even if you don't like his regular voices, he could just do a different voice for Mario and Luigi.
Listen,
because we need Hollywood actors.
Listen, I like Chris Pratt and stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy. He's funny in Parks and Recreation. He's perfectly fine as Emmett from the Lego Movie. It's just that Mario's not his role.
Yeah, Chris Pratt's a good actor.
He's a great actor. He's fine.
And I think like in this movie he emotes his lines okay, relatively.
His delivery is on point and perfect. It's just that his voice doesn't fit it.
Yeah, it doesn't fit Mario. And it wouldn't hurt so bad if cynical we have to cast famous people thing aside, Charlie Day wasn't the best cast person in the movie, and he's right alongside Mario, and then he gets whisked away for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, Charlie Day is like I would have loved to have heard him more. He
didn't need to put on a voice.
Exactly.
Like if you're not gonna have the Mario and Luigi guys do accents, Charlie Day was a perfect pick.
Bowser, it's a little distracting sometimes because you can tell it's just Jack Black, but
I'm kind of mixed on it. Like it kind of fits, it kind of doesn't. It's okay.
Exactly. Like it's fine. It's completely passable. Way more passable than Mario, but like I'm fine with it.
And again, this isn't about did they read their lines good. Everyone in this movie reads their lines good.
Oh yeah, they're top.
It's just a matter of does it sound like this voice would come out of Bowser? Like if you saw me in real life, you wouldn't think I sounded like this because I don't.
Exactly. It's one of those things, and like the Peach voice actress was great.
For you Mario experts out there, can you guess who that was an impression of? That would be Toadsworth. Did you know?
Okay. You can stop.
I don't know what this bit is. I'm sorry.
You can stop.
I'm doing the cynical Mario thing again. I don't know. I don't even know why I do that. It just slips in sometimes.
I would say that the beginning half of this movie was good, great even.
Yeah, like
I actually, like, as cynical as I'm being, I'm more cynical about it because I get angry at like what they could have done.
Yeah.
Which is that's bitch baby shit that I shouldn't be complaining about. But in all honesty, it feels like such a back to basics. Like,
yeah.
Okay, I know all this stuff, and you've repeated it in your games enough that it's melted in. I don't know, it just... And
even as someone who likes the whole movie, I do like the opening the most.
The opening is very...
like 15, 20-ish minutes.
It's very grounded, it has real stakes.
Yeah, because it really feels like it's building up, it's amping up, you have time to breathe with Mario and Luigi.
And then, like... One of my pacing issues starts when they just suddenly go to save Brooklyn was what they're trying to do. They're trying to unclog the leak, and they're like, oh, they're not looking in the right place. How that scene should have gone in my mind is there should have been some adversity for them where they go, like, people adversity, where someone goes, you can't do this, you're not professionals or trained or something, you're just in that dumb commercial. And they go, oh, yeah, watch us.
Yeah.
It's like they just kind of rushed to the point where, like, well, we gotta keep this thing moving, keep it moving. Which was fine, I'm willing to give them that one, but then it's that they do that so many times where it feels like they're skipping things.
Well, that's easily the largest criticism I think most people have of this movie, and it's mine too. Is like everything you need in the script is there, but sometimes you just need a little more of those things. Like you see Mario's dad isn't proud of him, and Cranky isn't proud of Donkey Kong, and Mario and Donkey Kong just for a quick second quote-unquote bond over it. Not really. This isn't Batman versus Superman shit. But, like, you know, oh, like, okay, there's a quick second of understanding. Maybe one more scene like that, right?
Yeah, and, like...
And, like, the adversity in the beginning. Like, yeah, we see that from, like, Mario's dad and Spike one more time.
Yeah.
Just to
hammer it home.
Just to hammer it home. Just for a little more emotional resonance, a little more empathy on the viewer's part. This whole movie is layered with that, but it really feels like we had to hit this runtime. It can't be any longer. Nope.
Yeah.
You know this movie that we've been talking about since 2017?
Jeez, I've been talking about it since that far back.
The Mario movie was announced. We even knew Illumination would be working on it since 2017. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean production started right then, but
still, they had to have started brainstorming.
Don't tell us until you have something to show. Metroid Prime 4 looms in the distance.
But Pikmin 4 and
Pikmin 4, Bayonetta 3.
But Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That didn't have a name.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Nintendo just gets overly excited. They're like a giddy kid hopped up on sugar. They're like, we got these things. Look at them. Like, oh, what? Do you plan on working on those? What's that?
It's the equivalent of like, dude, look at this awesome cake I baked, and it's an egg. They haven't even cracked it yet.
And you're like, okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, like, you need flour and stuff, and they're like, I'll get to that. Are you excited about it now, though? Can you hold on to that excitement for 3 hours while I make this game?
What's it gonna look like? Yeah.
I can't promise anything. All I ask is that you have faith in me and support me with millions of dollars.
I made this shirt.
I even made a shirt. God, that pisses me off so much.
God, I love Miyamoto. I love people that are actually just cartoon characters in the real world. I love them so much. They give me the will to wake up every morning just to see what they're up to, catch up with them, like old friends or guys with new T-shirts.
Guys with new T-shirts.
Yeah, the pacing is a consistent issue, but I think otherwise, for the most part, characterization is okay.
I don't mind like one or two little Hollywood musical tracks, but I feel like to me it felt very cynical, like, we're giving you good feelings with these songs, right? And
I'm going to defend two of them right now.
You know what? Go for it.
Mr. Blue Sky.
Yes.
It's just a good credit song.
Yeah.
I Need a Hero, I think thematically fits.
Yes.
Like, could Mario music or an original score have played during then? Yes, I'm not going to argue that, but I think, like, it could have been either way. I Need a Hero fits in that moment because Mario wants to save Luigi. He's training to be good enough to do it. Peach is like his mentor, and it's literally a training montage. It's not just something's happening or playing music over it. You play music during a montage, and
that's fine. Can I tell you right now, I 100% agree with you.
Take on Me, however, just playing in the jungle.
That was the weirdest.
That's the weirdest one. Like, and then I think there's two more, right? There's some Beastie Boys song in the beginning when, Mario and Luigi are going to be late for their plumbing job. And then there's...
No, I thought there was something...
Then there's Thunderstruck while they're picking their carts.
What was the one... I don't know the song of this, but I've heard this everywhere, where it's when the penguins are attacking, like... Dun, dun,
oh,
dun.
yes, that too.
I don't know what that song is, but... All I remember it from is from the Transformers movie, the first one.
That one's okay.
I didn't mind that one that much because that was like, it was like played for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So it was fine. But like, Take on Me, I'm like, can't you just bring up a Mario Kart soundtrack or something and
that
orchestrate
Thunderstruck
it
is the worst because they do. They play the amazing Mario Kart 8 kart selection song.
Yes. And then it slaps you in the face with like, hey, you like this.
Yeah,
right?
and after that play like Luigi Circuit,
something. It would
play played Turnpike. Or just an original score.
I think they played didn't they play Mario Circuit at some point? I can't remember.
They played at least the introduction to Rainbow Road, that's from SNES.
Yeah, so they played that. They played the invincibility one at the end of the movie.
The music might be the best part about this movie. If it's not the visuals, it's the music.
No, it's definitely the music. But I will absolutely die on the hill of you can absolutely have your two, because those fit, like you said, thematically. Yeah. Take on Me and Thunderstruck have no reason to be in this movie. It's like, can you just play fucking a Mario Kart track? You've got like 70. And you can just plop one and just put it right there. You don't need to alter it. You don't need to alter it at all.
Speaking of, the most ballin' Mario song of all time is just thrown into a scene, and it's not a cover or a remix or an orchestral rendition at all. Do you know what this is?
What?
When they're flying through Bowser's like party before he announces his plans to marry Peach to his army. They play the Bowser's Fury theme. And it's just the original song.
Holy
no
shit.
edit. There's not even any extra reverb on it, I don't think. And it didn't need to change.
Holy fuck, I just realized that.
Yeah.
Why didn't I pick up on that before?
It stuck out like a sore thumb to me.
Oh, you're absolutely right, yeah.
Fuck, I didn't wear the...
No, it's fine.
Sorry.
It's fine, I'll lower it a bit, but
I don't know what it is about hearing a cover of a song that like plucks at your heartstrings, because the instant that Toad's the Captain Toad theme plays when Mario meets Toad, especially on my first viewing, that was like, oh, I love the Captain Toad theme. Oh, it's so cute.
It reminds you of your happiness.
Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it.
It reminds you of the good times and stuff like that. It's
right.
Which you can do and pull off pretty well. Like, for instance...
This movie does it millions of times.
Yeah.
It does that with Captain Toad's theme. It does that with Mario Kart. It does that with Mario 64 in 3D World and Odyssey.
There's tons of continuous tracks that play throughout multiple movies. The Avengers theme, Mortal Kombat theme. You can name them all. But my problem is... I'm already kind of, like... about this movie, because I'm like... On one hand, it's like, okay, I like the soundtrack. I don't think it's... the biggest parts that stick out to me are the parts where they blast Take On Me and blast Thunderstruck, because they don't blast the Mario songs. Like the Bowser one you just said to me, that was kind of blasting, but they never... I don't know, maybe it was just my fault, but I didn't even pick up on Captain Toad's theme. I could barely hear the Mario music while they were running through that little town. I could barely hear that.
Probably just because you're focused on the visuals, or you're thinking about something.
Because I'm not. I'm looking in the backgrounds of this time when I watch the movie. But like, granted, it could be a thing where there's sound interference and everything. But it's I don't know. It just felt like almost like they were like ashamed of some of that music, so we gotta pump in new tracks. People are gonna love the new tracks and songs and that are in Mario now.
Actually, that's just an Illumination thing. I haven't watched an Illumination movie in years. I think I've seen 3 or 4, but I remember that this seems, from my memory, this is a thing that Illumination just does. Like, if you just sat down right now to watch Secret Life of Pets or Despicable Me 3. This same thing would happen. They would just play a couple of nice pop or rock songs like 5 or 6 times throughout the movie. I think that's just a them thing, because you don't see this in DreamWorks or Pixar or Disney.
Which by the way, you were out of the theater for a second. I don't know if you saw this, but they had Illumination had their little showcase.
I saw it on my first viewing. It's so weird. They play like a million recaps.
Despicable Me.
You've seen Sing, The Secret Life of Pets.
You've
now
seen Minions.
Get ready for some Ducks in the Rain.
You like ducks? Yeah, ducks. And it treats it like it's this epic. Which, no, they're ducks.
You want to bet that the reason they did that is because it doesn't look that exciting?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's what, because they have nothing to show.
It doesn't look as interesting as Sing or Minions.
And that's why, and it's I don't know. It just felt weird to me before the Mario movie.
It's kind of a shame. Just let the trailer play.
But my point was, like, the pacing, especially when they got to Cranky Kong. That was when the pacing felt way off. Because it's like, okay, I get it, you're rushing to see the king, that's fine. Build up a little tension between meeting the king and fighting his son. Don't just go to the fight! Build up, oh, who is this guy? Oh, I've heard this guy breaks bones. This guy, he takes no prisoners. And stuff like that. And it's like, he's just Donkey Kong. Which is fine, but there's no theatric drama to it.
Yeah.
That feels special. It just feels like, oh, well, we know what's coming. Okay, let's just embrace what's coming.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it just feels like a cheap payoff. It doesn't feel like it's setting anything up. It feels like, okay, well, this is the script now, so we have to do it. So that's my biggest problem with the movie, and that's why I dock it so many points, is because it does that a lot. And far too much for my taste, but the ending sequence is really fun. I mean, I love the first part, but I like the superstar stuff at the bottom and everything and whatnot. It's just, I don't know. There's not much else I can really say on this movie. Do you have anything to say?
I agree with the pacing issues. Don't get me wrong, but for the most part, I just enjoy the movie a lot more than you do. I think.
Granted,
I liked it way more on a second viewing than the first.
Can I just say, as hard as I am on this movie, I don't think it is a god-awful movie.
No, of course not.
I don't think it's super bad or anything. I'm just saying it's okay.
Yeah.
And you know, do you remember our reception to Sonic 2?
I've been thinking about it all week.
We loved that movie. And like,
I had many more scathing criticisms.
But that's fine. But that was because there was a lot more to go on to there.
Yeah.
You loved Bridezilla. You loved...
Not really.
You laughed at Bridezilla.
I loved that I went to see a movie where I didn't expect that, and it just kind of took over the movie. I didn't like that about the movie.
Okay, fair enough.
If I saw that in like a Zelda movie or like something like that, I'd fucking throw up. And I did for Sonic.
I think the reason I didn't mind it was because I played Sonic games enough to know that it can fit tonally into anything Sonic, which is already a disgrace to Sonic.
But not a wedding with characters that we don't care about. Yeah, it gets crashed. Yeah, I know.
But
like, it's not enough Sonic.
But this to me felt like every Mario level 1-1 game. Like, I don't know, it feels so crowd pleasing, you know what I mean? Where it's like, you have to like us because, or not you have to like us, but like, you please like us because this is everything you love, and it's like,
that's how I viewed it at first, and that's how I wanted to watch it a second time, and I'm glad I did, because ultimately, I feel like, one, it helps if you look at this more like a tribute movie, not like this is a story with characters you will be invested in. This is a simpler story, and one that's to be expected from Illumination as a whole, because this is a lot like how they handle characters and pacing and like Despicable Me and shit. But also as like a general just tribute to Mario, you know, just kind of like showing you the basic stuff that you love. Like, yeah, it works. I think it brings a lot of Mario to life. Yes, it is more basic stuff, and I understand that. I know that you would have liked to see either things taken from more interesting games like Sunshine or Galaxy, or a more original concept.
Not even that. I would have just, I'd like to see a bit more like creativity.
And listen, I'm not going to disagree. Like, yeah, but I also think, listen, when Nintendo signed up with Illumination, they both knew. Chris Meledandri and Shigeru Miyamoto shook hands, and they went, yeah, this is going to be a nice long partnership. More is coming. And I don't mean to say that in a way that should invalidate any criticisms or disappointment with such a basic story and film. But I think knowing that we'll probably get more interesting stuff in the future anyway, it's kind of like, yeah, this is good for now. I don't want every movie to be like this, but I think this is a good start.
I think my problem is that, like, at the end of the movie, everyone's kind of still where they are, except for the Mario Brothers. It's just kind of, let's build up the Mario Brothers, which is fine in a sense. But, like, I expect these characters to have a bit more depth, and what I've seen is basically surface value, like, oh, Luigi's scared, Mario's courageous and brave, even though he has no reason to just accept that apes and Kongs could talk to him. Sure, why not?
I would rather he accept them than go like, oh my... When he said, oh, these bricks are just floating, my dick retracted, and I threw up a little.
Oh.
Because we got close. I think that's the only moment in the movie besides, like, oh, Toad's a talking mushroom. I think it's just those two times where he's like, what is this? But, like, I don't need him to react like that.
But that's the problem, is because the movie wants to portray it as this is all new to Mario.
Yeah.
So of course he's gonna have that reaction. That's fair and reasonable. That's why it doesn't mesh with me. That's why I feel that he needs to have that so that the fans can be engaged. So like that the viewer can be engaged and watch.
Mario's the audience surrogate. Yeah.
Exactly, and it's like if he just accepts everything, then that kind of lays claim to your audience too, where it's like, sure, why not? Let's just accept it. Like it, and that it feels like that's cheap to me. And I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me. But
I think most criticisms of this movie that I'll ever hear, I'll be like, yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's not a 10 out of 10. I've seen people giving it rave reviews and bad reviews too. But like,
I think it's definitely good enough.
It's good enough. I'll say it's okay. Again, pacing is really my only true complaint because that was just so frequent and bothersome. But can I just say I love Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong? Pretty good.
Yeah, especially when he gets more energetic or angry.
Yeah, when he's really like energetic, I really enjoy the character because you can tell it's just Seth Rogen.
Anya Taylor-Joy is good as Peach too.
She played a bland, emotionless woman perfectly.
Pretty much.
That smiles.
She wore that fucking biker outfit from Mario Kart for.
I heard you audibly gasp when you saw her butt.
Listen.
No, it's fine.
I am a man of simple tastes.
You got good taste.
I like the Mario movie. I like the Bing Bing Wahoo. I like the Captain Toad Treasure Tracker theme. I like Peach's fat fucking Peach. I am a man of simple pleasures. You are allowed to think my tastes are ill-fitting or wrong or crude. But I like what I like, and they make me happy.
I guess my only thing now is like...
Please fucking smother me.
Peach. But, I guess my only thing now is like... You dealt with the plot in the most basic of ways, so I'm kind of wondering, like, what is there to do now? I really thought, and I don't know why I thought this, I thought the joke at the end was going to be Mario has to eat a gigantic mushroom. One of those ones that make him big.
Oh, like to stop Bowser?
Yeah.
Like I'm so glad I didn't even think about that.
Because I was going to make a joke like, oh, it ends with big.
No, I can't handle any more big. Please.
I thought they'd go there because you could tell they loved milking that joke of Mario hates mushrooms. They milked that joke. Where he even, which this was actually a good joke I liked in the movie, where he eats the mushroom after eating so many, he just barfs and he loses the power up because he barfs. I was like, that's good. That's fine.
Not original, but it works. It's a solid joke.
It's fine.
I do want to say, if there's any character I can criticize, I think it's Toad. Toad, more than anybody else, really feels like he's there for no reason. I want to say he does literally nothing after joining Mario and Peach once they leave the kingdom, which is unfortunately not true. Toad gives Peach the ice flower bouquet. So he doesn't do literally nothing after that point, but it's damn close.
Can we... answer me this. Does Keegan-Michael Key need to play Toad?
No.
Because that was a completely digital voice.
Yeah, they pitched his voice up. I think they were going to do that probably no matter who they cast.
But it felt like more of like... The reason I don't like when these big actors get this like kind of little movies because they're already famous and rich. And you know the Adam Sandler movies where they just get paid a shit ton for doing like vacation movie where they're on vacation, they're like, let's film a movie because we're on vacation. That's what it kind of feels like to me. Like, let's film a...
In the distance, you hear an echoed. Wait, what is that? Say hello to my chocolate blend. Al Pacino gave no fucks. He took his 6-digit paycheck and he danced with a cup and a donut in his hand, and then he left. Bless that man.
It was so...
Sorry, guys, this is what peak performance looks like. You're just gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah,
Chuds. Bunch of cuckoos. Can't handle the chocolate blend, I'm sorry.
Yeah. The thing that I would say to finally wrap up this little mini review is like, it's good. It's perfectly absurd. As much as I'm ragging on the movie, and people are gonna probably think I hate this fucking movie, but it's like
it's just because you're saying more negative criticisms than positive ones. But that doesn't mean that you dislike it more than you like it.
the plot is completely serviceable. The animation is clean and nice. It's Mario. It does say something when I look at a movie and go, you know what, that was fun. It wasn't a shit show. But it's like, I don't know, when you see all of Mario's creativity, you feel like, man, this was just milk. Like, this was just vanilla.
I want to take this discussion a couple minutes longer.
Okay, go for it.
Because there's a little tangent I want to go on. After my first viewing, now that I had seen the movie and there was nothing to spoil me on, I was looking at what other people thought. And it was not uncommon to find the exact same criticisms that we're talking about. That was very common. But there was a lot of responses to the people with that opinion, and it was the same thing every time. What did you expect? And at first, I was off-put by this because it sounds very smarmy. But especially after a second viewing, yeah, what did I expect? Because, one, it's an Illumination movie. This is like every other Illumination movie I've ever seen. Two, this isn't going to be the only Nintendo movie or the only Mario movie, and they're going to start simple. Makes sense. But then we get to point number 3, and I don't know if this is going to be contentious, but I think the problem with the bare bones characterization and just, very, very light character work, kind of bare bones basic story, not a whole lot of world building. Is that really the movie's problem? Or does that stem back, at least, to the franchise itself? You know what I mean? Because especially when this movie has direct involvement from Nintendo.
From Shigeru Miyamoto, who does not like story.
And especially for a franchise that tends to keep it simple. And even when it gets crazy, like, okay, yeah, I guess Sunshine's kind of wacky. It's still very light on story.
Let me put it this way.
So
if they ever made a Zelda movie, keep Shigeru away. Don't you dare put him close to that movie.
I think even if he were involved, though, Zelda would have more in-depth character and stuff.
Oh, no, but it would all end in one movie. Like, the whole plot would be in one movie. Which is fine, but I can see a Zelda franchise going for much longer and even better.
Okay, we're getting a little doomer.
My point is Shigeru Miyamoto, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. He does not like story. And he's basically publicly admitted this.
Yeah.
That's fine, not everyone likes a story. For movies, a lot of what people are setting up right now are and this was kind of Marvel's fault, the cinematic universes.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that for Mario. You don't have to make things intricate and leave little hints here and there to see what you're going to see later. You don't have to do that. That's fine. But we need some level of characterization that makes us want to come back to these characters. Right. Because the way I see it, yeah, I saw a Mario movie, and it was exactly what I expected. Yeah. That's fine on a certain level, but you've left no hook. Yeah. There's no hook for me to come back other than, hey, it's a Mario movie, I'll go see it.
Right.
And that's you should leave your fans wanting more, in my opinion. You should always leave them craving to be like, well, what's going to happen now? Like, that thing you talked about at the end with the Yoshi egg, who the fuck cares about? We saw Yoshis in this movie. That's not a secret. That's commonplace for that world. We saw them. Unless Yoshi's going to be central plot, which he's only ever been in the Yoshi games when he's carrying a baby Mario.
I'm guessing what they mean by the hook, because it's in the Brooklyn sewers, is things from another world, Mushroom Kingdom or otherwise, are going to start leaking into Brooklyn. It's like an issue with the warp pipes that they won't be able to easily fix. And that's what it's implying.
See, but you also, going back to something you said earlier, you implied that Shigeru is, well, not I say Shigeru, but the studio is keeping this very basic.
Now that's definitely me reading into things. I just think it's likely. I'm not going to say, oh, well, this review here, I'm citing my source.
Yeah. I don't know. On one level, I just can't understand it, I guess. Like, I don't understand why you don't go further with those characters.
And again, I agree. I really want to make it clear. Yes, I would have liked the movie to go further. But I think the movie's fun enough that I don't mind it only meeting my lowest of expectations. I would watch this over Sonic 2 a million times over.
Really?
And I don't necessarily mean that Sonic 2 is the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't necessarily mean that I'll never watch it again.
I think this is also your preference, though. Because the whole time during Sonic 2, you were saying, but do they need to be in the real world?
Right.
You prefer animated movies, which is fine. I think as long as it's a coherent narrative and story, I prefer it.
Now, Sonic 2 does have I wouldn't even say it has a coherent narrative.
No,
I feel like even for the live action animation
to me,
hybrid,
it's more fun. It's more fun to watch and kind of like spectate, other than the Bridezilla stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely better characterization.
There's better stakes too, because in my opinion, when they go back to the Green Hills and whatnot, and Eggman's got his thing going, it's like, oh shit. Granted, it's a sequel. They couldn't just pretty much lead into that. But let me put it this way. There was no point where I looked at Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles and said, those aren't their voices.
Yeah.
I think that really damages my outlook on this movie, because on one hand, it's so close, and on the other hand, it's so far. Like, Donkey Kong's fine, Luigi's great, Peach is great, Bowser, half and half. Mario is just... when your main character doesn't sound right, and your voice actor is there, it's just, you're constantly wanting it, and especially that they hit you over the fucking head right in the beginning, which pisses me off, because it's like, you could have had this, but we're giving you this. That's really what that says to me. It's like, we feel this is better for you, and it's like, but we've had this.
I think another part of my bias is I have higher expectations for Sonic, because Sonic is inherently more interesting of a character and a world, even if you're just sticking to like the Genesis era shit, which is very basic. All of those games are more interesting than anything that happened between Mario Bros. And Mario, well, kind of now, I think, Odyssey, with a few exceptions.
Switch U Deluxe or whatever.
I think the most interesting Mario narratives are like Sunshine, kind of Galaxy, a little bit Odyssey, and those are on par with like Sonic games from the early 90s on a 16-bit console. That's about as deep as they go. Yeah. And then you have everything after that. So I have higher expectations for Sonic. I think me having lower expectations for Mario, because
definitely helps.
Even when the RPGs definitely flesh Mario out, but when every other thing, the platformers, Mario Party, Mario Kart, the sports games, all I see there and all I've seen for over 35 years is really Bing Bing Wahoo. Yeah. This was Bing Bing Wahoo on a giant screen in HD with lots of vivid colors and good music. Sonic, I expect a little better. And while Sonic 2, I think, I would argue, probably has higher highs than the Mario movie, because it still has, for the most part, better characterization. Arguably better pacing, I guess. The script isn't as good, and it has lower lows as a whole. I think about the shack in the mountains. I think about the wedding.
But those are the things that take you out of the movie, though. Here's the things that take me out of the movie. In the Mario movie, the Take On Me took me out of the movie. And those, I view it on a scale of both duration and impact. When you hear it, it deflates you. For me, the pop culture references are annoying, but they're relatively quick. You get them out of the way. I have to listen to Take On Me for a full minute. It's not a bad song, but it takes me out of the movie where I'm like, this doesn't feel like Mario. Or Thunderstruck doesn't feel like Mario. And, like, again, they're good songs, but they just don't fit that atmosphere to me.
I think I get the difference between us now. I am more taken out by what is happening in the script. Because, for me, cutting to Tom and Kenny, or whatever, going to the resort for the wedding, And like, why is this in a Sonic movie? Where it's like when Take On Me is playing, yes, it doesn't fit at all. Or when Beastie Boys is playing, yes, it doesn't fit at all. But what's happening during those moments? They're going to the Kong army. Mario and Luigi are getting to their job. The story is happening. That's what matters more to me. Yes, the song still take me out, but a pop culture reference or song will never take me out more than here's a wedding at a resort. You know how Sonic and Tails are in the fucking mountains, snowboarding down from an avalanche with the Chaos Emerald. Now here's a wedding. When Take On Me plays, you know what's happening? Mario and Peach and Toad and the Kong guy, they're in a cart and they're driving through this beautiful, beautifully rendered Kong City in the middle of the jungle.
I think another thing is that I look at the construction of a scene entirely and how it fits into the narrative of the movie as a whole, because there were definitely problems I had with the Sonic movie. The fucking dance segment, I hated that.
Yeah.
Uptown Funk, I don't give a shit. But it's like, I think for me, it's that I know these movies can go harder. And for me, with Supersonic, that felt like a natural progression where I was like, okay, well, you can't have him go Supersonic in the first movie. He's got to build up his confidence, I guess. But my thing with that is that he has a character in that movie.
Yeah.
He's the overzealous kid who needs to learn how to take responsibility. Mario has a job as a plumber, and he certainly has a job as a plumber. He has no reason to act so bold. He has no reason. All our lives have been saying. We saw it twice. I don't feel the stakes that they're presenting to me. Where it's like,
yeah.
Oh, they saved Brooklyn. These relative nobodies that no one has ever seen. It's like the town's not laughing at them. They're just going about their day. It feels like they're trying to enforce something that isn't there. The family made fun of them. Sure. Their former boss made fun of them. You'd expect that from this type of movie. My problem is when they say, all our lives people have been telling us this. It's like,
yeah,
I don't feel that.
And
I feel like this is just cookie cutter characterization.
I fear this is a problem Illumination will have forever, because I do enjoy Illumination films. I think they're fine. Yeah. They will always be fine. But this is a consistent problem from what I've seen with them, where they enforce ideas and character motivations and world building just enough that you get it, that you know, but you don't feel it. They've had this problem since the late 2000s, and I'm really scared that it won't change.
I mean, I'm not sure. Again, another like character moment in Sonic is like Tails. They give him like 50 seconds for his backstory.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was, everyone made fun of me because of my scientist, because I'm a scientist and I've got two tails. I wasn't that weird or something. Sonic's like, yeah, whatever, what the fuck, we're all weird. And then it settles on that for a bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't just say, oh, your name's Tails? Oh, yeah, got it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, moving on. Like,
it's still a little bit quick for my taste, but the important thing is they show Sonic and Tails have not just 2 sentences back and forth about it, but a full conversation. That's what's important.
Establishment. You establish the problem, you deal with it, you show what's different about it.
Yeah.
Sonic is accepting. And then there's the little moments where they're bonding, like the part with the dance party. That was basically just to have Sonic and Tails bond, really. Because afterwards they have that little sentimental moment. I don't like the music and everything.
Remember when Toad said that Mario was his best friend because he helped him break into the castle, and then he cooked but lunch and
then Mario even said, "Are we?"
Yeah.
Like Mario was even like, "Are we?" And he's like, "I fear nothing." And then he does nothing. Like, why is he there?
For the ice flower bouquet.
He's there.
50 minutes later.
He's there to be Mario's wingman. With Peach, that was it.
You know who Mario's wingman is? Luigi. Yeah. I really would have preferred if this plot didn't involve anyone getting kidnapped. You can have Bowser pissed off for a million other reasons.
I wanted to propose this as an idea where it's like, instead of having Bowser kidnap anyone, have him go to these different kingdoms and collect, like, I guess more stars or something, and then you can just have them get all the stars at the end or something. Or how about it's like, he doesn't just get the star at the beginning, he's making his plan at the beginning. Halfway through, he's getting 1 star. Then he's getting another star. Then Mario and Luigi each get a star.
Yeah.
And then you build that up, because
There's not a lot of build up.
you don't have to have him necessarily. You're establishing the villain. As it stands, he's just Jack Black. Which is fine. I believed it. It was perfectly fine. The Bowser's Fury song, I didn't catch on to that. I like that. now that I realize it.
Further reinforcing that Super Mario 3D World / Bowser's Fury is the best game of the franchise, on top of the cat suit being hecka based in this movie.
Yeah, I was about to say it was based in this movie. But
3D World supremacy. Deal with it, sandbox chuds. Deal with it!
That's about it. A final score, if any.
I'm
gonna say
not a score guy.
I'm
7.
Really, I'll say 6.
Passable, good, actively enjoyable, needs improvement. I think 7. I think 7's a fitting score for that description.
6 for me, because the pacing and the characterizations are so cookie cutter that it just bothers me on some level.
Yeah, I think again it's helped that I associate that problem with Mario already, so it doesn't feel like a new problem.
Well, it feels to me like, well, you have this format of a movie, why not?
Right, a movie more than anything should definitely be the excuse to go harder on characterization,
yes,
to flesh out the writing. But I kind of expected this problem. So it just goes to show that expectations really are something important to keep in mind. Not to say that you can so easily change your expectations, but keep in mind that expectations will play a part in what you think about a movie. With that said, you have like 5 favorite moments from the movie? Besides Peach's delicious cheeks on a giant screen in literally 2K.
They showed Aonuma showed Zelda showing off her ass, then Shigeru was like, we gotta have something to combat that.
I like combat.
I don't know, what are your 5 favorite moments?
Let's see. Mario gargling his face in a woman's giant tits to steal a crystal necklace. Yoshi getting stabbed in the neck realistically with a shiv. The Twin Towers literally evaporating. A pizza being delivered to someone who's like just assassinated. And Mario actively staring at Luigi and Daisy making the fuck out. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the wrong movie. I'm not talking about Mario 23. I'm talking about Mario 93. Yep. We're doing it. Bet you didn't see this coming, assholes. I watched for the first time Super Mario Brothers from 1993.
Oh no.
And you want a plot twist to your plot twist? I actively enjoyed this movie. Really? Like, unironically, I had a lot of fun watching this movie.
We're gonna have to watch it sometime.
I would love to maybe do a discussion of it. I mean, we don't have to. Not a discussion. I mean, like an audio commentary.
Yeah.
But if I can, we don't even have to watch it together. As long as I know at some point that you check this out, I'm good.
I'll probably only ever watch it with someone else, and that someone else would have to be you.
I'm not saying that the premise for the movie is good. I'm not saying that. Do you know the premise of this movie, right?
Isn't it like a Yoshi egg? That's all I know.
So, when the meteor hit and killed the dinosaurs, it didn't really kill the dinosaurs. It actually caused a split in the planet's timeline. Some humans evolved from primates, and that's the real quote-unquote world. The other humans evolved from dinosaurs, and cut to present day, that world is a dystopia. It's one city left on a desert of a planet, and King Koopa assassinates the king of the Mushroom Kingdom, and starts like getting together a police force, and he is going to merge the dimensions to steal our world's resources. That's what the movie's about. Yeah, I know. Look, it is stupid. It's really, 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 really stupid. However, for an early 90s movie with needlessly brown and dark colors and the worst premise I've ever heard of, for all of that, and for being a video game movie adaptation that doesn't feel like an adaptation at all, I think it's a very enjoyable movie. I know. I see the laser pointed at my head. I can hear the SWAT team. I get it. You have every right
You're gonna get messages from people.
I got the tinfoil on my hat. The alien's coming. Lance, the alien's coming. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I love Bob Hoskins as Mario so much. Great. If you want someone acting like Mario, well, it's not Bing Wahoo Mario, but I think for that reason alone, you should check this out. I think Bob Hoskins has a great performance as Mario. Do I sound that crazy right now?
You sound like someone who found a key and said, "This is to my great aunt uncle's treasure, and we are going on a quest."
My grand aunt uncle's treasure. I don't want to get too deep into it. However,
I haven't seen this, so there's nothing for me to say.
I do need you to know that when Bowser successfully starts merging the worlds, so like he and Mario are having a standoff and they start Thanosing away. They like turn into dust slowly, and they get Thanosed into the real worlds where their conflict moves, and then immediately they turn around and the Twin Towers evaporate. So I can firmly say, with the modicum of seriousness, that the Mario movie 93 kind of predicted 9/11. It's okay. They get unthanosed back, and the dust reforms, and the Twin Towers are still there for another
7 years. Oh my gosh.
If you didn't like Illumination Mario, you might actually like this movie. I went in with the expectations that like this isn't going to be Mario at all, and it's not. It's a weird like dystopian sci-fi buddy comedy action movie from the early 90s.
They should trick people in the theater when they go to see this movie. Some reels are just playing that movie.
Yes, should have happened.
Oh shit.
I think of the 5 things that I mentioned, Yoshi getting stabbed is my favorite. I don't even remember why. I think it's just because, like, there's no Peach, by the way. It's just Daisy. Peach is not even mentioned. Daisy is, like, the Mushroom King's daughter. She's the one with the thing that Bowser needs. So she's locked up in a prison, and Yoshi's there. Yoshi's a photorealistic, like, baby T-Rex, but he's actually, like, really cute for, like, that kind of puppet. It just doesn't look like Mario at all.
Yeah.
But like Bowser's wife or whatever walks in on Daisy, like bonding with Yoshi because it's not biting her or anything. Yoshi's really cute. He's like gonna shove, and right in Yoshi's neck, he goes, "Ah!" Why? And Daisy's like, "Oh my god!"
Does it die?
No, Yoshi doesn't die.
Oh my god.
I don't even think Yoshi bleeds. He just goes, "Ah!" And Daisy's just like, "What the fuck did you do?" Because it's not even like they need something from Daisy at that point in the movie. Like, they need to win her over. She's a prisoner. They're going to take what they need from Daisy no matter what. She just does this with like, it's not like a fancy cool like sword. It's not like a Star Wars or like an. It's just like a little like knife. It's just a sharp little shiv you'd find in an actual prison nearby. You can see when the knife pulls out and you're like, you can see the tiniest little hole in the fucking animatronic. It's so good.
It's so good.
This movie is like I think
you have unironically become moon-brained.
I think this movie unironically has pretty good pacing, pretty good characterizations. Again, is it a Mario adaptation? No.
Hello,
but
everyone,
as
and
its
welcome
own
back
script,
to Half on the Worst.
As its own script, I think it does a good job. I think for the batshit crazy script that they set out, it feels like a high budget 90s sci-fi action comedy. I think the effects are good. I think the music and the score is good. I think the lighting's okay. I think the characters are, for the most part, I'm kind of iffy on Bowser, but like Mario and Luigi are really good. And Mario gets to drown in Big Bertha's fat fucking tits. I get Big Bertha's breasts in one movie. I get Peach's ass in another. I'm a happy man.
And with that...
Wait.
Okay.
Budget $48 million and 12 script rewrites. Revenue $21 million. That's why you can't find this movie on DVD. Just so you know. Moving on, unfortunately, from Big Bertha.
Are you done, Drew?
I like movies. Oh, I also watched, because there's actually 3 Mario movies. There's also an unreleased from Japan OVA of about an hour long from 1986, just before Lost Levels is about to come out. It's the most boring thing I've ever watched, except for this one picture that I took, and it's good.
Jeez, you have to send that to me now.
Nothing else about this was interesting.
My
nothing
gosh.
at all. There's nothing of note to talk about from this. Boring story, boring animation, boring adaptation, boring. However, Mario 93, you want to be red-pilled or blue-pilled? Because listen, we got Illumination, and we have, I forgot the studio that made Big Bertha.
Do you have any more to say, Drew?
Speaking of Berthas that are big, Bertha of the Blind.
Should I cut you off now?
Stay tuned for part 2, everybody, where I gargle some more fat tits.
Bye.